Welcome everybody to the Cheap Cashiered podcast. We talk about people, politics, and popular culture. I am your host, the one and only Austin Creed. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a thought today. I realized we talk about politics here and there, and you probably have a general idea of where I stand on certain issues, but then it dawned on me. I haven't really defined myself. In fact, I've had people tell me, "Oh, he a right, far right, crazy, far right, fascist, Nazi, blah 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 blah." And I thought to myself, you know what? I've heard these kinds of comments both in my personal life, outside my personal life, and I said, you know what? I need to actually take a political test. So that's what that is what we're going to do today. You, my friends of the Cheap Good Cheered podcast, you, my friends, my fans, members of the community, I will take a political test today. And not just any political test, I will take the political test according to what I've been looking at. It is called the political compass, I believe is what it's called. And according to what I've read, it is the test. It is the most accurate test, so I'm going to take it. And I'm going to do it live right here on the show. So if you're listening on audio, I would recommend you go on over to YouTube or onto Rumble. But I mean, I'll read the questions out regardless, but I think it'd be more fun for you. So, before we get started, if any comments, questions, or concerns throughout this show on where you think I might lie before we get started, leave in the comment section, or you can hit me up on Twitter at AussieCreed and leave your comments over there. Or, hey, after I take this test, if you happen to agree with me politically, you can feel free to share this video, like it, follow me on Twitter, whatever you want to do. Because trust me, I'm not going to just be like, oh, well, this is the politically correct answer, and this is the answer I think people are like, no. I'm going to do this very honestly, and I'm going to do it live. So here we go. Without further ado, here it is. Here's the test. It's called the political compass. Okay, look at this. Before taking the test, it says, please note that this isn't a survey, and these aren't questions. It says, okay. They're propositions. To question the logic of individual ones that irritate you is to miss the point. Some propositions are extreme and some are moderate. That's how we can show you whether you lean towards extremism or moderation on this compass. Okay. Your responses should not be overthought. Some of them are intentionally vague. Their purpose is to trigger reactions in the mind, measuring feelings and prejudices rather than detailed opinions on policy. Okay, that makes sense. Well, let's see. Wow, there's 6 pages. Okay. Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. First question. Well, I guess technically they're not questions. First proposition says, if economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. Now, right off the rip, this sounds like a communist question. Right out the gate, this sounds like some gorging on the richest money type question. Serve humanity. I don't know what they mean by that. Does that mean that the workers run the factories like they did in the Soviet Union? Or does that mean that they should put the interests of the planet, of people, over just making more money? I don't like how they phrase this question. Or, I'm just gonna call them questions. I don't care about the propositions. To me, they're questions. I'm gonna go with agree. But that's filtered through my lens. I hope that what they're saying is what I think they're saying. I'd always support my country whether it was right or wrong. Again, I don't like how they word this question. I don't support people or anyone just because. I'm very patriotic. Yes, I love America. I love my country. I was in the military. I love my country. That doesn't mean that my country is always right, though. I mean, I don't think anybody could say that. That's ridiculous. I'm gonna go with strongly agree. No one chooses their country of birth, so it is foolish to be proud of it. Strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. That's ridiculous. Our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. Again, This is a bait question to try to see if I'm a white supremacist. A bait question. Again, this is a total fake question. You don't know if I'm black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Indian. You don't know what I am. This is a. Do you think my race is superior? No, I think everybody's race doesn't. The race of somebody doesn't matter. Just like the candy wrapper does not matter. It's what's inside the wrapper that matters, not the wrapper itself. I'm gonna go with disagree. I know this is a setup question. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I would agree with that. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. Oh. Why do all of these sound like setup trick questions? Like they're like someone's about to come out of the closet and be like, "Ha, gotcha, bitch." Why do I feel like that's the question I'm listening? Why are all these phrased like that? Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. I'm gonna go with yes. Again, I'll need to know the circumstances and everything else, but I'm gonna go with agree. Considering I don't have a lot of good options here. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. 100%. I 100% agree with that. Next. People are ultimately divided more by class than by nationality. 100% agree. 100% agree. When you get to a certain stratosphere, from what I've found, the only color that matters is green. And people don't care where you're from. They don't care about any of that. They care about how you can make them more money and how they can make you more money. And that's what matters when I've seen. Next. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. Again, this is not a very cut and dry question. I don't like how they phrased that. Is it more important? Well, first of all, inflation doesn't even need to exist, technically speaking. It didn't really exist until we got taken off the gold standard by Richard Nixon. It was only then that inflation really started to go up really, really high. Because before that, you don't actually need inflation, by the way, just so you know that. You don't actually need it. The Federal Reserve is not actually part of the government. It just sounds like it because it has the word federal in it. But it's actually just a group of bankers that make money hand over fist, loaning the money to the government. So, I'm going to go with disagree on that. Because at the end of the day, inflation does not matter if you don't have a job and you're not making any money at all. So that's kind of a weird question. Next question. Because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulations. Yes, 100% true. I strongly agree with that. The environment needs to be protected more. Our animal friends need to be protected more. I think it's a disgrace what the Republicans do to the environment. I think it's a disgrace. It's one thing I really agree with the Democrats on in a lot of ways. Next question. From each according to his ability to each according to his need is a fundamentally good idea. I'm pretty sure that was a quote from Karl Marx. It was either him or Engels, I think, that came across that. This is the equivalent of a have you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party question. And no, I have never been a member of the Communist Party. And I do not ever plan to be. So I'm going to go with strongly disagree on that one. The freer the market, the freer the people. I'm going to go with strongly agree on that one. A sad reflection on our society that sometimes is as... Oh, sorry, I can't read. It's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled, branded consumer product. Strongly disagree. If you can make money selling water, why the hell would you not do it? If people are going to buy it, why wouldn't you sell it? Plus, a lot of people across the world don't have clean drinking water, so they got to use a plastic bottle. We take clean water for granted in the United States of America. So no, I disagree with that. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. Strongly disagree with that. Again, another socialist community communal society question. Strongly disagree with that. I know what you're going to say. The Native Americans did it. I understand that. I'm not a Native American. Next question. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to their society. 100% agree with that, actually. I 100% agree that it's regrettable. Now, is it legal? Yes. Should you be allowed to do it? Look, I think at the end of the day, should you be allowed to do it? If it's legal, then yes, you should be allowed to do it. Is it ethical? No. If it's legal, then you should be allowed to do it. If it's illegal, then no, you shouldn't be allowed to do it. I think of guys like George Soros, for example, who makes billions of dollars off of betting for and against currencies across the world and almost broke the British pound. Next question. Protectionism is something necessary in trade. I'm going to go with agree on that. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. That's a very weird question. The only responsibility? No, but that's what business isn't. That's the definition of business, is to make a profit for both you and the people who invested in you. I think they're basically asking me, do I agree with the bottom line? Is it the only responsibility? No. Is it the most important one? Yes. I don't like how they phrased this. I'm gonna go with agree, just because if nothing else, it is the skeletal structure of any business. Next. The rich are too highly taxed. Strongly disagree, actually. Well, the rich are taxed, but they also have a lot of loopholes. I'm more in favor of a flat tax. I don't like all the loopholes and games that people play. So I'm going to go with strongly disagree on that one. I don't agree with the eat the rich idea, but I think everybody should pay taxes. Now, if you're smart enough to get away with paying next to no taxes, well, that's a reflection on the government, not on the rich individual. Next question. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. Yeah, 100% agree with that. Yes. And it already happens. You think you're getting the best medical care in the world? No, you're not. You think you get as good medical care as guys in Beverly Hills or Joe Biden in the White House? Do you think he gets as good a health care as him? No. Of course you don't. Next question. Governments should penalize businesses that mislead the public. I don't like the way they phrased that. That could be phrased in a lot of different ways. Mislead them how? Mislead them on how their product or service works? Or mislead as in the pushing of ideals such as what we see from Disney and other companies like that? I'm going to go with disagree on this. Next question. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. What? That's a weirdly worded question. A genuine free market. These terms are so weird. I don't like how they phrase this. I'm going to go with disagree. Next. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. Yes, 100% agree with that. If the woman's life is threatened, then yes, I believe it to be okay. If the woman's life is not threatened and she's using it as birth control because she decided to go out there and be a skeezer, no. No, I don't think so. All authority should be questioned. 100% agree. Yes. Next question. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Yes. Yes, I agree with that. Next. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot strive on commercial basis. I disagree with that. I think history is extremely important, and even if it's offensive, it doesn't mean it should be taken away, because make no mistake about it, when history is ignored and history is lost to time, it reappears by becoming the present again because people forget about it. Next question. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. What? Classrooms should not make classroom attendance. Strongly disagree. Go to class, for God's sakes. What do you... Unless it's an online class, go to class and don't be a bum and smoke weed and skip class, for God's sakes. Next question. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. What? Why does this sound like a setup question to paint someone as a racist? All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that some sorts of people... Who are they referring to? Blacks? Gays? Whites? Who are we talking about? I don't understand what they mean. Different sorts of people. That could mean anybody and anyone. Everyone and anybody. What does that mean? Should keep to their own kind. This is such a weird question. I'm going to go with strongly disagree. That sounds very racial, which makes no sense to me. Next question. Should good parents sometimes have to spank their kids? Yes. Yes, they should. It's biblical, by the way. Next question. The spare the rod, spare the child. Don't know. Next question. It's natural for children to keep some secrets from their parents. Duh. Of course it is. Does it mean it's right? No. Is it realistic? Duh. Everyone does. Next. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. I actually agree with this. I think it should be illegal to sell pot, but I don't think it should be illegal to possess it. I think we should decriminalize it. Legalize? No. Decriminalize? Yes. Next question. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generations to find jobs. Disagree. I have a bias in this department. I think schooling should be about equipping you for the future in general, whether it's you want to start a business, be a part of another person's business, whatever it is. I don't think you should train people to be lemmings or train people to be workhorses. I don't think that's very smart. Next question. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to produce. Again, this is a eugenics question to paint me as a Nazi. You'd have to define serious inheritable disabilities, as in, you'd have to define that. I don't like the way that's phrased. The way that's phrased, I want to agree, but that could literally mean anything. That could mean almost anything. Do I think that if you have something that's going to make your child have a very painful and poor existence, then yes, I think it's selfish of you to do that to them. But should it be illegal for you to do that? I think that's a violation of your civil rights. So, I'm going to go with no. And the reason I don't go for strongly disagree is because I don't like the way they word this. That could mean multiple different things. And I want to make sure that it's what I think it is. Because if it's something, I don't think you should not be allowed to. Should you not want to because you're going to subject your children to a painful existence? Yes. Should it be illegal? No. No, it shouldn't. Next question. The most important thing for children is to learn to accept discipline. Yes, I agree with that. That does not mean that you can't be a creative person. It means you need to not be weak. Next question. There are no savage and civilized peoples. There are just different cultures. No, I 100% disagree with that. If your culture says that you can just slit people's throats because they disagree with your religion or because they disagree with something, your hairstyle, whatever, then no, you're not equal to a civilized person like us, like me, an American. You're not equal to me. And when it comes to you have your own culture, yes. Is that culture equal? As in, is it equally important? No. Has it provided equally to the humanity? No. Has it provided equal rights to people in your society? No. So no, I don't agree with that. Next question. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. I strongly agree with this. If you want to be a bum, that's fine. If you want to be self-employed, go for it. But you're taking those risks. I take risks being self-employed. But I'm still putting in work. If you want to be a vagrant, a bum, someone who doesn't do anything and just sits and collects a check from the government while doing nothing, not working towards anything, not doing anything, then no. Society shouldn't give you something, because what are you giving society? Nothing. Next question. When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. What? No, if I'm troubled, I want to fix the dang problem that's keeping me troubled. No, that's stupid. Why would... Look, if it's something I can control, then I'm going to try to fix it. If it's something I can't control, then yes. I'm going to change my answer from strongly disagree to disagree, because it depends on what I'm being troubled by. Next. First-generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their new country. No, I disagree with this. Now, can they? Yes. But are they willing to? That's the question they should have asked. Are they willing to? Because when you look at it, I've done a show on this. When you look at the fact that at least 60+% of new immigrants are on at least one form of welfare, you have to ask, what are they actually, are they coming here to work, or are they coming here to work the system and be a leech, which we already have enough of already? Next question. What's good for the most successful corporations is always ultimately good for all of us. No, I disagree with that. Next, it's usually good for the government. That's who it's usually good for. Next, no broadcasting institution, however independent its content, should receive public funding. No broadcast institution, however independent its content, should receive public funding. I agree with this. I don't think stuff like NPR should exist, because what's the difference between that and Pravda? When it's funded by the government has a say in what you're saying. Next question. Next page. Wow, we're only done with 4 out of 6. Man, this is longer than I thought. All right, let's go to the next question. It says, how do I see wider society? Let's see what they give me. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. This is a hard one. Now, if I don't like how they word these. They're very deceptive, which I get it. It's on purpose. It's meant to throw me off. I get it. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. I would agree with that. I think at the end of the day, when you look at how things are profiled, they'd rather look up a nun's dress than look at a Muslim guy. When look at an Arab guy who, the whole racial profiling garbage. So using that, yes. Next question. A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay progress in a democratic political system. No. The advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay the arguments is why you have a democratic political system. If you don't want the arguments, then don't have a democratic political system and just have a dictatorship or a monarchy, for God's sakes. What? No, there shouldn't be a one-party state in a democratic political system. That's about as democratic as North Korea is. I don't like that. No, I don't like that. Next question. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. Oh, golly. No. See, this is the argument that progressives use to say that it's okay for the government to snoop on you, to read your emails, to record your phone calls and all that crap. They say, well, if you're not doing anything illegal, then it shouldn't matter. You shouldn't be worried. What are you committing a crime? Why are you worried? Because I don't want the government to spy on me, you bunch of bums. Where does it say in the Constitution the government has a right to snoop on me? What the crap is this? No. Everybody should be worried if the government's trying to illegally spy on you. That's disgusting. It happened during the Bush and Obama years, and I guarantee you it's still happening today. But don't tell that to the progressives who are twinkling around in San Francisco right now, talking about how free they are. Next question. The death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. Obviously, yes. Duh. Next question. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. Ugh. I mean, technically speaking, that's kind of how it works. But the way they phrase things is so wild. I mean, that's how it's going to work whether you're in a civilized or savage society. It doesn't matter. The strong always lead the weak, whether it's physical strength, mental strength, spiritual strength, you name it. They're always going to be the strong who lead the weak. We must always have people above to be obeyed and the people below to be commanded. I mean, technically speaking, yes, that is true. Ugh, I don't like the way they phrased that. They should have said, in society in general. Technically speaking, yes, that's how it's always going to work. Next question. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all? What? Strongly disagree. What the heck is that? People interpret... That's the whole point of art, is for self-interpretation. That's the whole point of art. Next question. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. I agree with that. Next question. Is it a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals? Yes. Yes, I agree with that. Next. The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. Ugh, this is a very complex question. See, my initial response is to say no, and I probably still will say I disagree, but I'll say I'll disagree. But here's the thing. I did a whole show on this, about how the writers, the artists, these are the Pied Pipers of the people. They're the ones who lead the people, whether it's directly or indirectly. They're always the rebels in society to a large extent. You look at men like Plato, who wrote about Plato's Republic, and he wrote about how dangerous the artists were and how they needed to be controlled. It gets complicated. So they're not always... They're very dangerous to a society, but they can also be very productive if properly utilized. Next question. Mothers may have careers, but it is their first duty to be homemakers. Again, this is a setup question to make me look like a misogynist, which I am not. Misogyny is defined as someone who harbors distaste, discrimination against women, of which I do not. I think it's natural for women to be homemakers, considering they're the ones who literally give birth to the children, and the children have a special relationship to them. Also, if you look at marriages that work opposite of that, they tend to not work out very well. So I'm going to go with agree on this. It says, let's see. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic the plant genetic resources of developing countries. Unethically. I'd have to know more about it. That's kind of a ambiguous question. I'm going to go with disagree because I don't know what exactly they're referring to, and that just sounds like normal business to me. Next. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. The establishment. Why does that sound like a code word for the New World Order? What does that mean? Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. I'm going to go with disagree on that one. That sounds like a code question. Alright, next. Page 5 says, if you're going through that, okay, You'll find these propositions on religion. Oh boy, here we go. Astrology accurately explains many things. Disagree. It can sometimes, most of the time. No, I think most of the time it's just vague, cold reading, broad, wide sweeping garbage. It's just cold reading. It's meant to influence weaker minded people, in my opinion. Does that mean it's always wrong or that it hasn't helped people? No. It just means that it's inherently vague on purpose and up to interpretation on purpose. It's common cult practice. Next question. You cannot be moral without being religious. Strongly disagree. You can be moral without being religious. I've met many people who have a sense of morality who are not religious. Now, and I've also met religious people who are some of the biggest scumbags I've ever met in my life. So no, I disagree with that. Charity is better than Social Security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. Again, I don't like this. I don't like how they phrase this. I don't like Social Security in general. But do I think charity is better than that? I'd be neutral. I wish I had a neutral option. I'm going to go with agree because I think charity does more wide sweeping help than Social Security does. So to help people who are genuinely disadvantaged can mean anything from old people to handicapped people to veterans or anyone else. Some people are naturally unlucky. I don't believe in luck per se. I believe that luck is just preparation meaning opportunity. So are there some people who are really bad at preparing and seizing the moment? Yes. I'm going to go with yes. I agree. Let's see. It is important that my child's school instills religious values. What kind of religious values are we talking about? Are we talking about Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism? What are we talking about here? I'm gonna go with disagree. That's not the school's job. If I go to a Christian school or a Jewish school or whatever, then yes, obviously. But a secular public school, no. No, I disagree. Next, last page. A look at sex. Oh, did I get your attention using the word sex? All right, let's see. Sex outside of marriage is usually immoral. Again, it would have to depend upon what morality we're talking about. Are we talking about Christianity? Then, technically speaking, yes. I don't think, per se, it's immoral. Is it unwise if you don't do it properly? Yes. Does it tend to lead to bad choices? Yes. Immoral. Ugh, again, very ambiguous question. Do I think sex outside of marriage is usually immoral? Yes. A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship. Oh, here we go. They're about to try to paint me as a homophobe. Here we go. A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the possibility of child adoption. Oh, boy. Again, they're trying to paint me as homophobic. Here we go. No. There's a lot more at play here than just them being homosexual. If they're just normal people like everybody else, then yeah, I don't see the issue. I think there are straight people who are perverts who shouldn't have children, just as I think there are homosexual people who could be perverts who shouldn't have children. I'm going to go with disagree on that. Pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population. Should it be legal? Oh boy. I'm going to say no, because the way that they used it was under the First Amendment, which it has no place being under the First Amendment. I cannot imagine the founding fathers wanted to use, when they were writing the First Amendment, I don't think they were thinking about pornography and the most vile, disgusting acts that have ever been done in the history of the world. Next question. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. I 100% agree with that. It's not the government's business what you do. Next. No one can feel naturally homosexual. I disagree with that. There are definitely people who have more of an inkling in that direction. I've met them. I know them. So I disagree with that. Do I think society overwhelmingly pushes it now as a virtue? Yes. But do I think some people are just naturally born with that? Yes. Yes, I do. Next question. These days, openness about sex has gone too far. 100% agree with that. I think sex has been pushed way too much in society, especially upon children. I don't care if it's straight sex, gay sex, transgenderism, I don't care what it is. If you're a legal adult, you do what you want. It's a free country. I think children should not have these things hoisted upon them, whether it be traditional sex, untraditional sex, doesn't matter to me. Children should be left alone. All right, that was the last question. Let's see the results. Let us see where I line up politically. What do y'all think? While I'm waiting for it to generate my answer, what do you think? Let me switch the screen here. What do y'all think? Based on my answers, where would you categorize me politically? You might have to rewind the video. You might have to look at it for yourself and kind of go back and whatnot. No, what? Why is it telling me? All right. Before I show you the results, what do you think? Leave it in the comment section. Go on my Twitter at Aussie Creed. Let me know what you think before I show you. Go ahead and comment. Don't cheat. I want your guesses. All right, I'll give you a couple seconds. Okay, here we go. Here are the results. Give me 1 second. Here are the results. All right. Now, look, here is the board we're looking at here. In the top left corner, we have authoritarian left. On the bottom left of the scale, so it's a four square. For those of you who are not looking at the screen, it's a four square. We have the left. On the left side, we have the left. On the right side, we have the right. On top, we have authoritarian. And on the bottom, we have libertarian. And the horizontal line is the economic scale. And then the vertical one is the social scale. All right. So let's look at some examples before we look at mine. So we have North Korea and the top left of the top. So the top left and the top right. So authoritarian and right wing, they have Saudi Arabia, Singapore. And then authoritarian towards the left, they have China. Switzerland, they have libertarian right wing. Uruguay, they have right wing libertarian. Okay. All right. Now it's time for my results. Here we go. They say, wow, look at that. I'm almost exactly dead in the middle of all four. No freaking way. Wow, I did not think that was going to... They have me even slightly left wing. Can you believe this? They have me a little bit left of center, not even right of center. Can you believe this? They say that I am just a step to the left and just a step authoritarian. Wow. I am just barely outside the exact middle. As I figured I'd be a little bit to the right in middle, but they say I'm a little bit to the left and middle with a little bit of authoritarian thrown in. Interesting. Wow. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen of the Stupid Get Cheered podcast? Do you agree with these results? Do you think that they're wrong with where I line up? What do you think? I'm honestly shocked. I thought they have me as a left wing on economics and more authoritarian on social issues. Not by much, though, on either account. Well, my friends, now, whenever you hear me, I can reflect on this. In fact, I think I'm going to take a picture of this because I am not taking one of these. There you go. I just took a picture of it. I just took a picture of the screen. Y'all can take one too if you want to show your friends, your family, anybody else, and the haters out there where I line up politically. And if they want me to take another test and you want to recommend me another test, go ahead. I'll take it on the air. I could do it again. But to answer the question of am I really far right? Well, clearly the answer is no, because I'm not even on the right wing according to them. I'm almost dead center, leaning slightly left. So, for all you haters out there who say that I'm a far right-wing Nazi, first of all, the Nazis aren't right-wing. That's number one. But number two, here are the receipts right here. I took everything transparently right here. I didn't cheat. I didn't lie. I walked through every question. My friends, what do you have to say on this? But that's all the time we have left for today. I went way over than I normally do. So until next time, my friends, God bless you. God bless your family. God bless this beautiful country called the United States of America. We're out of here. And before I go, no, I'm just kidding. I got you, didn't I? I got you. All right, bye.